There's what it's like. Now we continue on. And I look over here, I look at this cliff dwelling there, a rock and so on and so forth. Now we're going downhill, pick up a little bit of speed. But this is exactly what I'm trying to tell you, what you can do with a camera if you want to. But you have to like doing it, otherwise there ain't much sense of you doing it. But you have to like doing this, and I love doing this. Because when I get through with this here bit, I can go home and watch myself on tape and see what I have done and where I've been. That's what's nice about it. And you could do the same thing. Can you imagine you doing this here when you just retired? If you retired at 62 or 65, then you reach my age 20-some years later and watch yourself what you did 20 years ago. Because that's exactly what I'm doing, but now I'm doing it at 93 years old instead of late 70s, because that's when I started doing this, when I was in my late 70s. And boy, I'm sure glad I did, because I got an awful lot of tapes that I can look back on and see where I have been and what I've done with my life. Now, I'm a skier, and I love to ski, so I joined a 70-plus ski club, and this ski club would travel all over just to go skiing. Now, we've traveled over to Austria, Switzerland, Italy, down into South America, the Bariloche Mountains, New Zealand, Australia. I've been there, no skiing in Australia, but I skied in New Zealand. And of course, you got to go to Hawaii to get to New Zealand, so I've been to Hawaii a couple, 3 times, and I've also been up to Alaska. And I have that all on tape, every place I've been. So that's what I'm trying to impress upon you senior citizens out there, that if you like to travel, travel with a camera in your hand. So when you come home, you can look at TV and see where you have been and what you did, because it'll be on tape for the rest of your life. Because my tapes are old, and I got a bunch of them, and I sure enjoy watching myself on tapes having fun. That's what it's all about. But not realizing when I was doing all this taping, I just did it because I liked doing it. And it was for my own private use and my own well-being. But somebody says, why don't you put it on TV? I said, well, how do you do that? He told me, so I went to Mid-Hudson Cable, and sure enough, they put it on cable for me. So it's supposed to be on every Friday at 10 o'clock on Channel 11. But today's Friday, but they didn't put it on because sometimes they have special programs, and today they happen to have, I'm talking on my camera. Hi. Explain what I'm doing. But anyhow, they had a special program, a religious program, so they do that once in a while. Something special comes up on a special day, they won't put me on. Well, I was supposed to be on at 10 o'clock, well, they didn't put me on. So I'm out here now, roaming around, making new tapes of what I do. And boy, I'm going slow now, it's a steep hill. But here's where 2 creeks come in together, Catskill Creek and Catskill Creek, I think. Catskill and Catskill, whatever they want to call it. But there they come together. Right now it's slow. But I'm traveling on this highway, or street rather. It's a road. But this is what it's like. And this is what you can do by traveling around with a camera in your hand. And this is how it's done. So, what do you know about that? So I'm going to knock it off for a little bit. There's a nice big home. That's what they call the old Moon's home. Used to be a dairy producer. Milk or whatever, delivered milk refinery. Well, anyhow, whatever. So, I'm going to knock it off now for a little while till I get up for further. Well, there's where Dave White lives. That's a good buddy of mine. Now, he traveled all over the United States with me on a motorcycle. I had 2 motorcycles at the time. I had an 87 and a 94. And we traveled all over the United States all the way out the west coast and up to the state of Washington, Oregon, and all those places. He used to travel around with me on motorcycles. What do you know about that? He's a good buddy of mine. He took good care of me. And of course I took care of him too at the time. Now we're talking about back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, I think the last trip we done was in 96 when we went out to Sturgis for the big motorcycle rally. I think that's the last trip we ever made together. But he was a good buddy of mine, and we had a lot of fun traveling around. So I got a lot of him on tapes, walking around alongside of cliffs, going down to the stream, washing his hands and face, splashing in the water like a big kid. But we sure enjoyed ourselves. That's what you could do. But you have to like to travel around and stop. Not just travel. You got to stop and take in the sights wherever it's possible. Of course, going from here across the plains and cornfields and wheat fields of the central states like Kansas, Nebraska, and all those other states that are like prairies. You can skip across those, but it's fun driving, taking pictures of it, which I did. But when you get into the mountains, though, now you got really something to look at. And it's hard to explain, but I'm trying to let you try to show you what you can do with a camera in your hand. I'm still going down the road here. I'm going down the hill. But this here, I'm only about maybe a mile from where I live now, or better. And look at the country we got here. Look at it down in there, huh? Isn't that gorgeous? Oh boy, this is fantastic. Travel around Greene County of the Catskill Mountains. Yeah. Well, this is what you can do with a camera in your hand. So I'm going to knock it off now for a while and concentrate on what I'm doing. We're traveling. So there's two cars. See, I had to get way over here. Here comes another one. I can hear them, but I can't see them. But there they go. So far, so good. Well, I don't know any of you people remember the noodle nest. Well, there's where it used to be, right there. And they're supposed to build a new one, and that's as far as they got. Something about the insurance, but that's as far as they got for a new bar. There used to be a nice bar there, and we used to have a lot of fun, us motorcycle riders. We came out here, but it burnt down somehow or another. Somebody burned it down, I assume. But I don't think it did it itself. But they used to have a big restaurant there. Of course, they had a kitchen, blah, blah, blah. So it could accidentally caught fire. But who knows today how some of these people are. But this is going out. Well, I better hold the camera. Now, see, I'm looking down, not paying attention to what I'm doing. So that's what you got to do. You really got to pay attention to what you're doing. And I kind of missed it there because I was thinking about something else and not focusing my camera right. Well, of course, my hand's getting tired. But we're going to get up here pretty soon, and I'm going to show you some real nice waterfalls. Well, here's how they're improving Catskill. There's a new road. It wasn't there when I moved here. And now they got a new house up there. So I assume back in up in that hill there, they got some property and they're building homes back in there. There's the first new home. That's been there for about a couple of years so far. But I never took a picture of it before. But anyhow, that's how they're improving Catskill. And that's what you see around here. A lot of improvement since I lived here. I came here in 1962, and I bought the house on West Main there in 64, I think, late 64. And I've been here ever since. So now we're coming up to where this waterfall is, and you're going to see something that's pretty neat. But look how overgrown it is here for alongside the road. So right now, I think I'm about maybe 2 miles from where I live, or a little better. But up there, I can raise the camera up. Maybe you can see it, how the waterfall is over there. Yeah, there it is. So we'll get up here a little further, that I'll explain what you're going to be looking at. Because right along here, there used to be a machine shop right in this area here. And machine shop used to make guns. And they got the power from the water. The water gave them power to run their machine shop. And right there is where it was. There's parts of it down in there. But there's the waterfall over there.